Good afternoon, and welcome back to our To Learn at Lunch webinar. Today, we will hear from Madeline Allwine, State Outreach Coordinator for the USDA Farm Service Agency, as she discusses disaster assistance programs available through the Farm Service Agency. If you have questions during the webinar, you may ask them through the chat window by clicking the chat button at the bottom of the screen. Additional farm financial management resources are available on the eFarm Management page. I will share this link in the chat window. Our next webinar is scheduled for July 22nd at noon over the Oklahoma Ag Mediation Program. Madeline, I will turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Brent. As mentioned, my name's Maddie Aylwine, or Madeline Aylwine, whichever you're comfortable with, and I'm with the Oklahoma Farm Service Agency. I'm the State Outreach Coordinator, and I'm also in charge of communications. I'm kind of the common face that you guys will find whenever you come out to outreach meetings or to various, sorry, I'm talking and doing two things at once, or to various trade shows. You'll probably see me there. We'll also see our county office staff. And so we'll just kind of run over what the FSA does, what we have to offer, and opportunities that are available with the Farm Service Agency. The Farm Service Agency is a sister agency to the Natural Resource Conservation Service, or NRCS, and we're partners in that sense. So you'll frequently see us together, but we are two separate agencies. FSA provides disaster assistance programs or safety net programs along with financial assistance for farmers and ranchers of all sizes and of all tenures. We kind of have two sectors and two sides of FSA. When you're working with us, just kind of keep that in mind that the farm loan programs are not in every county office, but the farm programs will be in every county office. We have 59 county offices to serve all 77 counties. And so my recommendation is if you are in an office with what we call shared management, is that you go onto USDA Service Center Locator.gov, and then you can select your county office. For instance, Latimer County is grouped together into McAllister. And so just kind of keep that in mind that you might not have a FSA presence within your county, but we do still service your county. The first step to maintaining all eligibility with FSA is to get a farm number. Now, this is frequently confused with a tax number or an agriculture exemption tax number, and they're not the same thing. You can use your FSA number in order to obtain a tax exemption, but it's not required. They're not correlated together. So we always recommend that you create a meeting and you make an appointment with your county office. I'm going to stress some virtual resources that we have this time due to short staffing at the moment. And so this just kind of helps our county offices maintain appointments, maintain their records, and help maintain your documentation in order to help you guys get in and out as quickly as possible. So first, you'll make an appointment. Those aren't required, but they are encouraged, and you'll prepare your documents. I always recommend that you ask your county office exactly what documents that you'll need, but the three that will be required is a deed, a lease, or other legal proof of operation of your land, personal identification, something like a driver's license, and a plat map. A plat map is not necessarily essential in a rural area, but as we start to see more urbanization, it becomes more and more important to help us give you a farm number for the plot of land that you actually own. We're able to give a farm number to a square of 2.5 square inches. And so there's no property too small, no producer too small. So if you live if you're in urban Oklahoma City and you are really passionate about vertical agriculture and you only have a 20 by 20 space for your farm that is still in operation, we still consider it a farm and you're still eligible for FSA programs. I also recommend that you discuss with them what you're hoping to do with your farmland and what you're hoping to grow to. I always say maybe come up with describe where you are currently, then maybe a 6-month goal, a 3-year goal, and then a 5-year goal. This will help your county office explain what programs are actually you may actually be eligible for. FSA has about 33 different programs. And so they don't apply to everybody. And so letting your farm service agency know what your goals are will help them let you know what programs to keep an eye out for. Record keeping is really important once you guys are established. This also helps you be eligible for our farm program or disaster program specifically, and it kind of helps take that one step off of your plate when it comes time to applying for those disaster programs. In the event of a wildfire or um, a drought or an excessive or a tornado and straight line winds, something of that sort, it's really important to have documentation of the cattle. We'll just use cattle, for instance, that you had on your property in order to help maintain verifiable and reliable records so you can maintain your eligibility. So it's always really important that you come in and you just let us know that your bank changed, or if you started a trust or an LLC, or if you have new land, or if you no longer use that land, or you sold it, just a real quick pop in and just let us know so we can update your farm records will be really helpful. We also recommend that you keep your production records as well as your livestock records just even just on a sticky note or in a little notepad is plenty. But when a disaster does come about, that's just one thing that you're not going to have to worry about anymore. You're not going to have to go back and be like, well, how do I verify that I had 25 head when a wildfire came through and now I only have 5 head left? And so this just kind of helps make that spot a little bit easier and help you be prepared when disaster does happen. Acreage reporting, this is required for all of our programs and for all of our crops. Um, and it's the July 15th is a deadline for CRP, grass, cotton, grain sorghum, hay grazer, or other spring planted crops. This is just required for um, programs like the Non-Insured Crop Assistance Program or other new programs like the Emergency Commodity Assistance Program, which we'll cover those later. But this is something really important to keep up to date as well. Your county office will always remind you if you guys sign up for our newsletters. And so this is something that's just the dates are reoccurring. And so you can just kind of put this into your calendar and start working on it annually. Agricultural risk coverage and price loss coverage. This is our small grain commodity program. This is for producers that typically do like something like cereal grains or barley, canola, chickpeas, corn. And this is just something that we can help do to support the producer if the crop revenue declines or yield declines on within the county. So this is an election. Each each producer is required to go into their county office and elect if they would like to do ARC or PLC. And your county office can explain the differences between both of those programs. And then that will help if it triggers, you're just automatically in it. So this is just something that's important for you to enroll in. Livestock disaster programs are some of our most popular programs. There, hopefully you guys can see that. The livestock indemnity program is in the circumstance that you lose cattle or other livestock. That can be cattle, buffalo, bison, beefalo, llamas, goats, sheep, anything of that sort. It will fall under the livestock indemnity program. This is when an adverse weather event occurs. This can be a wildfire, tornado, lightning storm, flood, anything of that sort that is just outside of your typical year. This might be a program that you can qualify for. Something that's really important to discuss or to make note of is that this is in excess of normal mortality. So what that means is we understand that cattle die or livestock die, and it's really important that you document the loss and send it into your county office to establish your normal mortality. So in the event that there is a lightning storm and 10 of your 15 cows pass away, but prior to that you had 3 cows die to prolapse or a broken hip or just because it got old, you can get paid on more because on more that died in that event because we don't have to take out your normal mortality. So this is really important to file your notice of loss within 60 days. and you must provide verifiable evidence. A simple picture with a timestamp, which your county office can help you guys out with that on your iPhones. A simple picture, send it to your county office, and they'll put it on file after this natural disaster does occur. File your notice of loss after the loss is evident and within 60 days. And then after that, your application is due March 1st of 2026. And so if it falls on a Saturday or Sunday, it will be the following day. Livestock forage program is kind of our claim to fame lately. Luckily not this year since we're finally out of a drought. However, in previous years, this is just to help with grazing losses. This is a per head per grazing AU application or program, excuse me. And if there's a drought or if there's a wildfire on federally managed land, this is something that you may consider or that you may qualify for. County committees can accept the LFP applications after the national office has said that this is a qualifying drought. Qualifying droughts are determined with the drought monitor. So sometimes you might be like, my land's real dry, we're in a drought. Well, we can't do anything about it until the national office gives us the okay. Eligible animals, but they must be grazing animals that would have been grazing during the normal grazing period, which that just means if you have a feedlot, those animals are not eligible. And like I said, it is per livestock per AU. So if there's certain carrying capacity on each land, and that needs to be taken into consideration as you do this. So if you're overstocked and you're overgrazing, you won't be paid on the livestock that are over your overgrazing. So it's really important to kind of be aware of that and be aware of your resources that you have. The purpose of this program is to provide funding for hay that you have to purchase in light of there not being grass to graze. The application deadline for this, I'm sorry, the bottom of this is incorrect. The application deadline for this is actually March 1st as well. That was changed last year and that will be changed for the rest of the time. The emergency assistance for livestock and honeybees and farm-raised fish, otherwise known as ELAP, is kind of the catch-all in between livestock indemnity program and the livestock forage program. The biggest difference with this one is that honeybees are an eligible livestock for the ELAP program. This can cover losses due to an eligible adverse weather event, but also if you lose a colony of honeybees, this can be used to help replace that. It can also be used to help with feed for your honeybees as well, and it covers damaged hives. So I always recommend that you contact your county office if you do have honeybees and just say, hey, I have honeybees, and just kind of keep this one in mind in case anything happens or in case you think that you might be eligible for a loss on this. The Emergency Livestock Assistance Program is also eligible for grazing losses and livestock feed losses due to wildfires. And so, or just in general. So in general, drought is kind of what this program is for. If you have to purchase feed in excess, you may qualify for the ELAP application if you have increased cost of feed delivery, or if you have to travel further than where you are because there's no hay available within your region. This is a program that you might be eligible for. So I always recommend that you contact your county offices. But for the wildfires that went through this central Oklahoma earlier this year, this might be a program that you may qualify for if, say, your hay pile got lit on fire. There is a lot of documentation required with ELAP. So I do recommend that you always just kind of check in with your county office and ask. Provisions do change. And so it's really important that you keep a line of communication with your county office in order to maintain accurate records to maintain eligibility for these programs. The non-insured crop assistance program, this is the only program that you are required to buy into with Farm Service Agency. This is essentially insurance for the crops that are not insured through the Risk Management Agency. So most crops are eligible for this program if they aren't insured with RMA. Pecans are only eligible in certain counties in Oklahoma. because certain counties are qualified through risk management agency. Again, just talk to your county office. They'll let you know what crops are eligible. For the most part, alfalfa is a really popular crop that people like to insure with NAP, as well as specialty crops. This is pretty much just exactly as it sounds. It's an insurance program, and it's an insurance program that helps with an adverse weather event or if there's a loss of value of the crop due to the weather. There is an option for buy-up coverage or there is base level coverage. This is our new program. It's the Emergency Conservation Assistance Program, otherwise known as ECAP, and it just provides economic assistance for agricultural commodities for the 2024 crop year. On the right-hand side, you'll see what the prices are and what crops might be eligible for. And this is just to help offset increased production prices, increased production costs on these programs. It is the deadline is August 15th of 2025. If you were previously eligible for this program through acreage reporting, you should have already gotten a pre-filled application. If you think that you are eligible and you did not receive an application, please make an appointment with your county office and walk in and discuss with them why you didn't. And then you can always fill out one manually by hand at the county office as long as it's by the deadline of August 15th of 2025. If you have multi-use acres, so wheat is a common multi-use acre on your acreage report, it is recommended that you go into your county office and you have to select one of those one. They'll explain it to you, and so if you have multi-use, you will have to go into your county office. So just keep that in mind. The Emergency Conservation Program is a program with FSA that is mainly used to help reestablish land that has been damaged due to tornado or due to flooding or due to drought, or due to fire, something of that sort. It's intended to rehabilitate farmland and help with the conservation structures that were damaged by those natural disasters. Eligible applicants include farmers and ranchers that suffered damage to their farmland. Now, I understand there was quite a few floods going down in southern Oklahoma this year. In that instance, if your property is damaged due to floods and you are within a certain boundary, you may not be eligible for this program. So it is also required that you go into your county office and you ask them about it. County can request participation from the national office, but it has to be determined that there's a need through the county committee. So if you do believe that there's a need for this and that your county is not started with the emergency conservation program, it is required, or it is suggested that you speak with your county committee members to ask them if they can request it. ECP assistance can be used for repairing fences, removing or replacing fences, as well as restoring conservation structures. This is just kind of the process of ECP because it's a little bit different than all of our other programs. It is typically closed within 30 to 60 days after it's been opened with the county committee. The county office will request the implementation of ECP, and then once that happens, the county office will announce sign up and will start accepting applications. Things that are required is if you decide the assistance is needed and the amount of assistance, documentation with the damage through photographs, documentation of fence repair, that along with conservation maps, and then decide whether or not you would like to request advance payment. FSA will complete the environmental assessment that is at the conclusion of this program. Again, the county office, once you apply, the county office will request funding, and then you'll be notified if you've been approved or disapproved. The producer must sign the form sent by FSA within 15 days. Digital signing is a possibility with FSA, so talk to your county office about how to do your work digitally, and advance payments would be issued. Starting the practice before approval is at the producer's risk. If you do start the practice prior to approval, your application approval, you may not be recompensated for the work that you've put in. And then from here, you'll certify that the practices were completed and you'll turn in documentation. This is kind of a large program and there's a lot of nuances and caveats to it, but it's a very popular disaster assistance program that we have. It's always requested that you talk to your county office and you suggest or you request additional information if you think that this is a program for you. Farm loan programs are really popular with the Farm Service Agency. We offer direct ownership loans and direct operating loans. We also guarantee loans with traditional lenders, and we also offer direct down payment loans for beginning farmers and ranchers. So, our direct farm ownership loan, you can either get it at a loan maximum of $600,000, or you can apply for the micro loan, which is a maximum of $50,000, and it's a term limit up to 40 or 25 years. The direct farm participation loan is when you partner with Farm Service Agency and with a traditional lender. Our maximum that we will be able to loan you is still $600,000. However, if the property is more than that, that's when we will do a participation loan and we'll split it FSA and a commercial lender. The direct down payment farm ownership loan is for beginning farmers and ranchers, and this is to purchase a farm from a beginning farmer or a historically underserved farmer or rancher. This is a really popular program. It's a term limit of 20 years, and the down payment must be at least 5% of the property value. And then the guaranteed farm ownership loan is up to almost $2.2 million, and the rate is determined by the commercial lender, and we can guarantee the farm loan up to 90% for the borrower in order for you to get that loan from the lender. Operating loans are also popular with the Farm Service Agency. This is a good option if you're looking to buy a tractor or if you're looking to refinance some debts within certain limitations, purchase livestock, seed, or farm chemicals. We offer an annual note, and so that will be something that you'll overturn within the next year. That will include something like seed. If you're a wheat farmer, that will be an annual note. And then, so that's why the term limit is from 1 to 7 years. If you're looking to purchase equipment or say you need to buy a combine or a tractor, then that's where the up to 7-year note would come through. Emergency loans. This will be authorized by the Secretary of Agriculture through designated counties. Not every county is eligible for this. Not every county is eligible for this is only an 8-month program. So it's always requested that you contact your county office because not every county is on the same rotation of eligibility. And so 2 neighboring counties may be eligible at the same time. However, one may have an earlier deadline because it may have triggered at an earlier time. This is just to restore or replace essential property, pay all or part of the production costs associated with that disaster year, pay essential family living expenses, reorganize the family operation, or refinance certain debts. Again, this is only applicable during certain times if that county has been designated as a disaster county. A youth loan is also a Farm Service Agency loan. This is a loan maximum of $10,000 to eligible individuals to finance agricultural related projects. The youth must work with 4-H, FFA, a tribal organization, or something of like kind, and the youth must be 10 to 18 years of age with the loan paid off by 20 years old. This can be used to buy livestock, seed, supplies, equipment, or pay for operating expenses of a project. I just want to touch on real briefly, I mentioned county committees. We are during our nomination period for our county committees. The Farm Service Agency has a special election cycle each year where it allows the farmers and ranchers within the community to actually implement and help assist the programs that are created by the national level. So it's really unique in the sense that these are national programs, but the county committee members are allowed to help influence those programs in order to make them as applicable as possible on the county office level. In order to hold office as a COC member, you must be a producer with an interest in farming operations, and you must participate in FSA programs. Nomination and voting, it runs from June 15th and it will end on August 1st. You can nominate yourself or you can nominate others, and the nomination forms are either available online or they're available in your FSA office. The nominee must sign the form. Something to mention is that there is a tribal landowner voter eligibility option. And so if you are a tribal landowner within the local administrative area that is up for election, whether you are an FSA participant or you are interested in participating in an FSA, that does not matter. You are eligible to vote in this election. I do recommend that you stay connected with text messaging in order to stay up to date with our programs. We understand that you guys are really busy and that your deadlines are our deadlines are frequent. This is some way that you can help yourself stay up to date. If you text OK and then your county name to 372-669, you'll be eligible for, or you will be enrolled in our SMS text messaging services. We don't bombard you with texts. You will get a maximum of 2 texts a month. Some months you might not get any, some months you might get 2, but it won't be spam. It will only be, we recommend you come into the county office for the July 15th acreage reporting deadline. We also recommend that you sign up for our Gov Delivery bulletins. And this is where you can sign up for your emails that you will get every month regarding different programs that we have available and different eligibility terms that may have been changed within the provisions of each program. So those are 2 ways that we always recommend that you stay connected. And real briefly, I'm going to cover, and we'll just run over some resources that we have on farmers.gov. I think that this is really important, especially during short staffing times, that this can kind of help you educate yourself to ask the right guided questions within the county office. This also helps you understand and be aware of what programs you may be eligible for. This is the farmers.gov homepage. You can create an account and you can log in, and then you'll be able to have your FSA information within this resource here. Within that, if you click on protection recovery, you can say, we've had a lot of severe storms lately. So you can select that, and then it will let you know more information on recovery programs that were previously discussed in this presentation. You can touch base on these, you can read over them and see if you specifically qualify for these certain programs. Some information on this, for instance, the Environmental Quality Incentives Program is an NRCS program. And so some of these are both FSA and NRCS information or fact sheets to provide you with different information. There's also the Farm Loan Assistance tool. And this online tool is really important. I always recommend, if you don't know what loan that is best for you or what loan to apply for, this is the website that I refer you to. You can take the quiz, and when you go on that quiz, it will ask if you're hoping to build fence, or it will ask if you're hoping to buy property, or if you're looking to buy livestock, anything of that sort, and it will help guide you to the best opportunity and the best loan for your specific situation. This is just the emergency conservation webpage. You guys can click on this and it will let you know how to apply, where to go to your FSA office and find your location. And then it will just give you a little bit more resources on what the emergency conservation program is. And then the emergency farm loans, this is also where you can find out if you're eligible and where it works, as well as current FSA farm loan rates. And these are our loan rates at the moment. Our farm operating loans are at 5%, and our farm ownership loans are at 5.75%. And then our emergency loans are at 3.75%. And our down payment loan is at 1.75%. So those are just some options for you. That is all I have to present. However, I'm looking forward to see if anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Maddie. And I want to tell everyone, it is set where you can unmute yourself to ask questions, or feel free to type questions into the chat window. And we also have a webinar survey that we ask everyone to fill out for us that helps us know how we're doing and everything. So that link is in the chat window as well. Thank you, Maddie. And Maddie shared the link of the site she was just showing, the farmers.gov website. And so that's available in the chat window. I also want to remind everyone while you're thinking about your questions, our next webinar will be over the Oklahoma Ag Mediation Program, and that will be on July 22nd at noon. Since I'm not hearing any questions or seeing any questions, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap the webinar up. Thank you everyone for attending today. Thank you, Maddie, for presenting today, and we will see everyone in July.